Alright, folks, I have a bit of a confession to make, really. My hold on wrestling as a fan is becoming very, very thin. I mean, WWE, WWE is pretty much dead to me by now because of the things they've done, and uh, even my hold on TNA is very thin because of what they've been doing. And, yeah, but I'm going to admit to y'all right now, I do not watch WWE anymore. I watch no WWE programming whatsoever. Why? Well, because Kali's a heavyweight champion, even though Batista's probably going to win it from him at SummerSlam. But also because, get this, and you've probably heard it already by now, Hornswoggle is the Cruiserweight Champion of the world. You might as well just kill that belt right now, WWE, because you know, that belt has no credibility left at all. Of all the injustices that the Cruiserweight division has suffered over the years, that is by far the absolute worst. I mean, here we have guys like Gregory Helms and Paul London and Chavo Guerrero and Rey Mysterio who have worked their butts off over the years for this Cruiserweight title. And even guys like Matt Hardy who have come up through the Cruiserweight ranks. And now they give it to a freaking midget. Someone who shouldn't even be on the roster. I mean, he was brought in to help fit Finlay, and Finlay doesn't need a freaking midget. He's badass by himself. You know, he can still go at his age, unlike Hulk Hogan, who's had, what, 7 hip replacements by now? So he doesn't need a damn midget by his side. He just needs to be Finley. But now, that cruiserweight belt means nothing, uh, and it's really just the icing on the cake. I mean, ever since the WWE dropped moves like 450 splashes and shooting star presses, just because people were getting injured with them. And the funny thing is, the people who were doing the injuring with those moves aren't even in WWE anymore. Juventud Guerrera, out of there. He had a bad attitude. He got the boot. Billy Kidman, he's been fired. And the rest of the cruiserweights and people of cruiserweight size that are there in WWE, don't injure people with their moves. For instance, Paul London, I don't think he's ever injured anyone with a shooting star press in his life. As far as I know, he's never botched a 450 splash or shooting star press. Why not let him use it? In fact, the last time he used it was in utter defiance of this banning, and then they gave him a whiny bitch heel character for a while and stripped him of the cruiserweight title. That's bullshit. That is a complete and utter disgrace. They might as well just kill off the cruiserweight division, get rid of the cruiserweights, bring a few guys up into the United States division, give some good credible contenders to that division, because right now really all we've got there is MVP and, well, that's it really, MVP. So, oh yeah, and Ric Flair, but Ric Flair's on his last legs. He's probably going to be out of there pretty soon. Everyone else is either not good enough for the main event or is up in the main event already, or should be in the case of one Matt Hardy. Or they're in the main event and they shouldn't be, like Mark Henry, Great Khali, debatable Batista. And they just might as well just kill the cruiserweight division, release those guys that they're not going to push in the cruiserweight division anyway, Let them go overseas or even Ring of Honor and TNA if they want to. That the fact that they have a 90-day non-compete clause, while I can understand it from a business standpoint, really is kind of stupid because it hurts the wrestlers more than it helps WWE. So, or more than it would hurt WWE if they didn't have the clause. So, and I can't think of anything else to say on WWE except there are only two people in WWE that right now might get my interest back in there, and they're not even yet in WWE. One's confirmed to be coming back. One might be coming back. But there are only two people that would get my interest back in WWE, and unfortunately, the guy I mark for the most, Rey Mysterio, is not one of them. The two people are Chris Jericho, one of the smartest, funniest, and best working men in wrestling, and this is going to be a shock if you know how much I used to hate this guy, Triple H. Yes, I would rather see him back and in the main event than either Orton or Cena. And he might get me back into WWE, but that is a huge but. All right. As for TNA, I said that the winner takes all match at the upcoming Hard Justice pay-per-view was a foregone conclusion match, and I hold to that assessment. But what amazes me is, you think with a match that was so predictable like this, TNA would not be promoting it very well. And I'm shocked at how they're promoting it. I mean, they're perfectly building up Kurt Angle as the cocky, egotistical heel. And they're setting up Joe as perfectly as the kick-ass face. And while I do already know what the outcome of this is going to be, I mean, there's no possible way that they could have Joe lose this, right? They're doing a very good job of building it up, even to the point of bringing in Kurt Angle's wife and daughter into the mix. And normally having wrestler's family being brought into an angle doesn't work, but in this case, for some reason, I don't know, it just fits. And so TNA has been making the most out of a bad situation. That being said, Chris Harris and Dustin Rhodes, blech. I don't really like that. I don't know what persona Dustin Rhodes is going with next. He obviously can't use Goldust because that's TM WWE. But Chris Harris is in line for a world title push sometime in the future. Hopefully after Joe wins the TNA World Championship at Hard Justice, because that would be a match I'd be wanting to see. Chris Harris and Samoa Joe are both excellent workers. I would love to see that match there. But instead, we're getting Chris Harris versus Dustin Rhodes for some inexplicable reason. I don't like Dustin Rhodes. I haven't liked him as Goldust. I didn't like him back in the Fox Sports Net era. And I still don't like him now. So, yeah. That's one thing TNA needs to fix. But, they're obviously doing something right because their ratings are going up and Raws are going down, down, down. So, TNA's got to be doing something right. WWE is obviously doing things horribly wrong. And I have to admit this, I'm not a testicle, so to speak. But I marked out to see Andrew Martin in TNA this past Thursday night. And granted, they're probably flipping back from heel and face several times like they have with Abyss and Christopher Daniels and the like, and Kurt Angle. But it's good to see him, and I'll be interested to see what they do with him. That's all. Peace. Bye.